Howdy, y'all. Dusty Reins here with a amazing, delicious looking apricot pie, fried pie. Oh, was at the Amarillo Community Market this morning and ran into an old friend, actually a new friend, known her for a while, I guess. Tiffany. She baked these herself, and you might know her on Facebook. She publishes quite a bit in Amarillo, or posts quite a bit in the Amarillo area gardeners. And then she is also the owner and operator of Angel Gardens here in Amarillo. And I visited with her the very first time and shot some video with her. You can find that video on this channel listed under the People playlist. The main reason why I brought this up is not only because it is a very interesting product which I'm about to consume, and I need to get this over quickly in order to do that. It reminded me of a story that goes back to my childhood. Second grade, we went to a small church when I was in second grade in Monahans, Texas. And there was always needs to purchase things, and most everybody in the church didn't have a whole lot of money, and so they would do fundraisers. And one of those fundraisers would entail a bunch of the ladies getting together and using the kitchenette and some of the utensils back there and bringing some from their own homes. And they would buy up a large stock of dried apricots, peaches, I believe they tried one time, apples and cherry, very popular flavors. And then they would have some of the ladies rolling out the dough, and some would be boiling the dried fruit in big pots, get it to a consistency where then it could be cooled down and put in a little flour envelope and then stuck into a fryer and baked up, and then it would be distributed amongst the ladies, and of course the ladies would distribute it however they needed to in order to move the merchandise, raise that money for the church needs. And so she would bring them home, and I had a baby sister at the time. She was a little over 2 years old, and we had a brand new radio flyer wagon, bright spanking red, and had the words written down the side, radio flyer, the little streamers that made it look like it'd go real fast. And so I think my little baby sister and I, well, she would ride in the wagon, and she would maintain possession of about 2 dozen fried pies before we would take off. And we'd go up and down the block, and I would go from door to door and hawk those fried pies. And really didn't have much trouble in getting them done. I think might have to circle the block and maybe go partially down another street before I would run out of the pies. And I don't recall that my sister and I ever ate any ourselves. I had to justify the money with the number of pies we took with us, so I think that kept me pretty honest there. But we'd sell all those pies. And now I'll zoom in here, and this is what's called inflation, folks. Whoop, a little bit too much. There we go, apricot pie, $3.95. At that time, it would have been, oh gosh, second grade, 1959. Well, these pies cost 15 cents, and you got door-to-door service. Didn't even have to drive anywhere to pick it up. It came right to your door. Not very often, I would admit, but they were certainly a good way for the church to raise money. Now back then, I'm trying to remember something that might put this price increase in perspective a little bit. And I'm not knocking Tiffany's prices at all. I'm sure that it is well worth the purchase price based on what we can buy other things for today. But it seems like to me the candy bars in the size that we purchase now for usually just over $1. I know that at least in 1962 would sell in vending machines for a nickel a piece. So a nickel to whatever we're being paid, we're having to pay now. And then the fried pies from 15 cents in 1959 to present day. Well, there you go. That's inflation. You might have noticed that the light keeps coming on and fading. Well, you got partly cloudy skies in West Texas this afternoon, and it sure feels good to get that heat off of my dang skin and clothes and burn me up and be in a little bit of shade for a bit of time. All right, well, that's about all I've got. We'll catch you next time.